Hey there. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking she must have spelled that word wrong. Isn't empower with an E, not an I? But if it is a real word, I definitely want to know because I could really use these extra 14 points for Scrabble. Seriously, though, empower is a real word. It was used along with many other different spellings for empowerment in the 16th century. And eventually, it went into disuse, and we have the empowerment that we know of today. The short story is it is an archaic form of empower, and the emphasis is on the I, to represent our own inner power to heal, our connection with our inner self, our inner resources, and our inner power to transform and heal our lives. Now, there is a bigger story around this, and it has to do with the journey of empower to empower. Empowerment is an important form of support we receive from parents, authority figures, teachers, spiritual figures, healers, helpers, and anyone who believes in us, anybody who can see our inner potential, even when we can't see it for ourselves. And by empowering us, it kind of gives us the fertilizer to start growing that inner potential within us. But it's only half the journey. After empowerment, there's a doorway, and it's called empowerment. I am empowerment. And that's when we start to recognize and connect with that source of power within us and the map that it has for our lives. And the more that we can connect with this inner power, the more we can flow with change and crisis in our lives, the more we can deal with stress, the more we can connect to our authentic self and our sense of purpose in life. And that is why we really emphasize empowerment in this community, because most people know about empowerment, but they don't really know a lot about empowerment. So I am making a stand for empower to come back into our vocabulary to represent this idea of empowerment from within, the ability to connect to an inner source of power that makes us more resilient, even anti-fragile in the face of stress, crisis, and a lot of the challenges that we experience in our modern day-to-day life. So in other words, empowerment brings us to the door of transformation, but to be empowered means to walk through that door. At the end of the day, empowerment is just as important as empowerment. In fact, you could say that empowerment stands on the root of the empowerment that we received earlier in our lives. And we never really cease to need to be mirrored and valued by other people. You could say that empowerment and empowerment are both worth 14 points. But when you can be empowered in a community that values empowerment, that's priceless. So I would love to invite you into our community of empowered individuals, and we'll see you next time with ideas that empower your life. This is Tabitha Marsh, and I'll see you then. Let's go in. A long time ago, before cards disappeared, before there was no empowerment, and then all of a sudden there was. And then they decided, oh, we'll get rid of this one. Let's start again. Start again. Start again.